Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar, How to Build Better Relationships Through Technology. My name is Alexandra Barcelona. I'm from Retention Science and I'll be moderating today's webinar. Before we begin, just a couple of housekeeping items. We are recording and we will be sending this out to everyone who registered. We do encourage questions and we'll be answering them at the end, so you can put them into the chat box on the right of your screen. Or you can also follow along with the Twitter hashtag #BetterThroughTech. So with that, I'll pass the presentation along to today's presenters. Ryan?
Great. Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to give you a little background about myself. My name's Ryan Lee. I'm the head of client success over here at Retention Science. A little background about myself. I've been in tech for about 15 years. Started in development, doing programming and engineering, moved over to IT, and eventually actually into operations and to marketing, to where I eventually landed a job over here at Retention Science. And I will pass it over to Abe, who could do a brief introduction about himself as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Abe Anwar, product manager here at Olapic. I've been with the company for about 2.5 years. Initially started out on the client services side, helping with tech integrations, and then moved over to the product team, where I currently help oversee the platform. And very excited to be here today with you all, and looking forward to sharing some awesome tips about building great customer relationships through technology. So let's get started. So one of the strong ways. Whoops, sorry. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello?
We can hear you great.
Oh, cool. All right. Modern marketers know that they need to be personal and relevant to deliver an omnichannel experience, and much more than that in order to build relationships with their customers. But is that enough? The short answer is no. To solve the problem of building authentic relationships with customers at scale, marketers must dig deeper to the root of this problem. Customers today have an increasingly divided attention span and are savvier than ever when it comes to a brand's marketing efforts. They expect more from marketing experiences. And if you look at the bottom of my screen, you'll see that 34% of shoppers reported breaking up with a brand because of poor, disruptive, or irrelevant marketing messages. So having said that, how do marketers combat this? By utilizing technology to create genuine relationships with their customers. And building relationships requires authenticity. What does that mean and what does that entail? Let's take a look. So here are the 4 steps to building marketing efforts that are authentic. First is to build trust and credibility. Second is to deliver value to your customers. The third is to provide a unique customer journey. And the last one is to embrace omnichannel marketing experiences. Now let's dive deeper into each of these. So the first step, once again, is to build trust and credibility. And we do that by not being fake. So one of the strong ways to build trust and credibility is, as I just said, by not being fake, but then also not using overly Photoshopped product images, and I'm sure we've seen them all from time to time, or by using fluffy or vague product descriptions. Understand that customers today want more information and will find it themselves. Build credibility through the words and images of other shoppers. So reviews are extremely effective, but they must never be altered or planted, or else shoppers will be suspicious, and definitely don't delete bad reviews. Visual UGC, or earned content, is a great way to see the product in real life and on real people, and therefore comes with inherent trust building factor. And take a look at some of these stats about UGC. So on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, more than 22,000 images are uploaded per second. And as we can see on the current slide, that creating quality content is quite hard, right? And smart marketers are using that content to power marketing experiences and solve top challenges. So first up here is you can see that the top challenge for B2C content marketers is producing engaging content, and 56% cited that challenge. Then the top priority for these same marketers is creating more engaging content, and about 73% of marketers also cited that. And according to Forrester, consumers engage with 11.4 pieces of content on average prior to making a purchase. And on the consumer side of things, 70% of them rely on 3 or more channels when conducting product research. And with the usage of UGC on your site and other sales or marketing channels, you're giving them more information that otherwise they can't find easily. Now, the good news is that a lot of great content is already being created on behalf of brands by these users. And by using UGC, once again, you're solving the problem of not having scalable quality content, and you're helping brands make more informed purchase decisions. So having said that, here are 2 tips. The first one is to leverage existing content from social channels or by asking your customers to submit photos by asking their explicit permission. And the second one is that while leveraging that content that solves the problem of having engaging and fresh content, it also helps customers because now they can see what that same product they want to purchase looks like in real life on a person that looks like them. And more importantly, in my opinion, every visual UGC is a story that you as a consumer can relate to or can start thinking more about, and that also makes UGC more engaging. Now, let's take a look at how American Eagle, one of Olapic's customers, leveraged UGC and saw an increase in ROI and other key metrics. So ever since they used Olapic's ambassador community, they have identified key individual brand ambassadors who help them in building an ever-strong online community. And American Eagle leveraged this community to promote its product line back in 2015, and they hope to highlight content from these same ambassadors in email marketing and social ads later this year. And as a result of leveraging ambassador content, they've seen a 66% increase in conversions once they built this strong network of ambassadors. They saw a 5x increase in user-generated content from their customers, and 22% increase in sales Labor Day weekend in 2015 in comparison to the same time period in 2014. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Ryan to talk to you about delivering value and providing a unique customer journey.
Great. Thanks, Abe. Really great content from Abe about delivering content, building trust, really creating value for your customers. So this next section that we'll be going over is really looking at how do we deliver value to these customers. So to start off, we'll take a look at how have customer priorities changed over time. As many of you probably have known who have been in the space, we've seen that nowadays there's so many different places that you can shop for product. You can go to the direct-to-consumer website. You can look at eBay, Amazon, Etsy. There's just so many storefronts that you could go to, even in the e-commerce space. How do you actually get people to come back? The second item is looking at how have customers shifted those priorities. Early on, I think price became a real factor to purchasing online. What we found was that going online, you could find the better prices. You can go direct to the manufacturers and make those purchases. But now we're really looking at how else can we provide value. It's no longer just a price war, but we have to provide some true value to these customers so they continue to come back. And providing that value for the brands is really how we keep customers engaged long term. In order for us to get them to be repeat buyers and ambassadors, we'll really have to figure out what is that value to all these individuals. So the 2 key factors that we have to providing value is data and content. We'll first start off on data and how data informs the value. So when we're talking about data, we're looking at what type of inputs can we get from our e-commerce store or other digital channels where we're collecting that data. Some of the things that you could look at for data is, what social media channels are the most popular users coming from? What other acquisition channels are they interacting most heavily with, depending on your product categories or the items that you have available in your store? We also want to look at the data to figure out who are your biggest customers, who spends the most, and what do they have in common? Are they coming from a particular state? Do they have common demographics, whether it's age or gender? And then finally, really looking at the data to determine what's your ideal shopper profile. And for many different businesses, you can actually have multiple shopper profiles. It's not always a one case fits everyone. And that's what we want to look at the data to help us figure out what those values are. On this next slide, we're going to talk about an example with Laurel and Wolf and how can data help spot trends. So as we at Retention Science have been working with Laurel and Wolf, what we did was help them figure out, what does the data insights tell them? Laurel and Wolf came to us, and they're a virtual marketplace that connects professional interior designers with people looking for interior designs specifically for their living room, bathrooms, or even their dining rooms and several other kinds of rooms that you have in your house or even in your office place. Interesting, as Retention Science started working with Laurel and Wolf, we were able to analyze of the top rooms that they were trying to push out packages for, which ones did actually, or which ones correlated with one another. So we did an analysis and found that people who tended to buy a kitchen design package typically also wanted a bathroom design package. So knowing this information and spotting these types of trends in the data, how can we make that actionable? And what we would look at towards doing is, creating a cross-sell campaign so that anyone who comes in that is looking for a kitchen, are they more likely to purchase a bathroom package as well? Then we'll look more into the general UGC and how UGC can help provide more data. Some of the things that we can connect UGC to on the data side is looking at what behaviors and trends come up in different areas of your marketing channels. Could be Instagram or Facebook. Customers will naturally, talk about your business and say, we love this specific product, we love specific designs, and all of that information you can ingest back in. And utilize that to continue building value for your customers. A great example here visually is that, going back to that Laurel and Wolf example, if we see on your social channels that a ton of your customers are always talking about nurseries, it might be something along the lines of, a huge population of your customers is in that age range where they're most likely to have babies. So how can we focus on really targeting our content and using that data to help deliver more personalized experiences for customers that are more likely to purchase a nursery package? And same thing goes for other businesses. The data, taking all of the user-generated content, we can figure out different personas and help to personalize the customer journeys. Another great example is Honest Company on this slide here, which communicates their value by going beyond the product. Sometimes it's not literally about just the product you sell, but also what you do as a company. In the example here with Honest, they're really thinking beyond that, and they're creating a customer base that has a true following, whether it's for Jessica Alba, who is really leading that charge, or everyone else at the company who truly believes in the mission statement and the values. You want to create a true group of customers that become your ambassadors so that they can speak your brand, because word of mouth is still very powerful as well. So this next portion of our webinar, we're going to go over some of the unique and tailored experiences for your customers. We're going to first review what we've done up to date as marketers. Previously, in this traditional lifecycle marketing journey, we love to help develop a strategy and a life cycle for a set of customers when they first join us, sign up for us, and even come back as a customer for repeat purchases. What we find with traditional lifecycle marketing is that it is still a very linear and static life cycle that people have created. It's not necessarily bad, it's not wrong, but how have we evolved as marketers over time? And what retention science is really looking at is providing a true one-to-one lifecycle journey for every single user. We want to be able to scale with your business so that not every single person gets a welcome email after day one. Not every single user gets a second stage welcome series email after day 4. This should really depend on what the data is telling us historically and through the actual real-time actions. And how do we achieve this? So on this slide, we have it titled Enter AI. For AI, really talking about the artificial intelligence. And where does AI actually assist us in the marketing channels? So we mentioned AI not really the robot kind because we don't want everyone to get or move into that fantasy of movies like iRobot, where we're saying that the machines are going to take over all of the marketers' tasks. We're going to magically handle, every item that you need, including creative and content. That's really not what we're trying to say with artificial intelligence. We want to focus on what areas can AI help us in the marketing lifecycle journeys. Great examples of AI today would be Siri on your iPhone or even Google Maps, where Siri and Google Maps is really a tool that assists you. It's not necessarily telling you exactly what to do. So with retention science, we developed a product called CORTEX, which is our artificial intelligence marketing. What we have here is that we want to create a journey for everyone and make it into something special for them. The inputs that we typically take for your businesses and these companies are the transactional data, which could be order history, the behavioral data, what products are people looking at, what categories, what pages they're browsing, did they go to the shopping cart, did they go to the checkout, and did they abandon? Some other details that we would ingest are the product and catalog data. So every day you as a business may be releasing 20 new styles, 100 new styles. And the system is going to be able to take in that catalog and help refresh so that we can push out marketing messages to the customers in real time. And some of the other data would be our customers and demographics. It could be anything along the lines of age, gender, their geolocation, and a lot of other details or data that come from social channels or user-generated content. And all of that information can be brought together, thrown into CORTEX, and from there we can automatically target our customers with these various channels of email, on-site, mobile, and even in-store or call centers. Here's a great example from one of our clients, Bikeberry. Not going to read the entire quote there from Jack Lin, the CEO and founder, but really want to focus on the last couple words that he uses, where he says, we get to focus on making better creatives to keep the conversation going. So what AI is really doing is helping to get rid of all of the busy work that marketers have to deal with today. A lot of the manual segmentation, grabbing the data, extracting it, now packaging it for their data analysts or their data scientists. From there, working with that team to make that data readable so that you can gather some insights. and then finally bring it back in and try to do some actions with it. So the AI with Cortex at Retention Science is really looking to help you solve that problem where it takes too long for us to make an action. And that's really what we did with BikeBerry to help them transform their business and deliver true one-to-one life cycle journeys for their customers. Other companies that give great examples of where AI is used are companies like North Face, using technology like IBM's Watson. By using that AI, they're able to give their customers a great online and in-store shopping experience. And these are just some other examples of how AI can influence online and offline shopping in the near future. Great. So I will pass this back over to Abe to hit on the fourth item that we had on the agenda today.
Thanks, Ryan. So let's now go over how we can embrace and build omnichannel experiences, leveraging what we've just talked about. So omnichannel feels more natural, and customers today expect their experience with your brand to flow seamlessly from one channel to another. So on the next screen, let's go over tips for creating an omnichannel strategy. So tip number one, integrate earned content across all your marketing channels and use earned content as a connector for your other marketing channels. The second tip, balance AI with human engagement and ingenuity. AI is only the delivery or logistics system. A marketer's creativity and ingenuity is crucial in creating messaging that resonates with customers. And the third tip is to build through intelligent growth. So focus on the tools that actually move the needle, not just what is new and flashy. And now let's take a look at an example of NYX, an Olapic customer. So what they did here was implement an omnichannel strategy where they had user-generated content on their web pages, their mobile site, but then they also used that same content and reinforced it in stores. And throughout their experience with Olapic, they've seen a 320% high conversion rate from customers who interacted with UGC, and 93% higher average order value from shoppers who interacted with user-generated content as well. So let's now review everything we've been over. And on the next screen, we'll go over steps for building the authentic marketing experiences that we've been talking about. So the first step is to build trust and credibility with your customers. So present who you are, your true brand, your true product. This is not one of the occasions where you can fake it till you make it. And use real words and imagery from other customers with their express consent. The second step is to deliver value using data and content. So use data to gain new insights, to truly understand your customers, and apply those learnings to deliver a better experience and also increase sales and engagement. Analyzing content can give you insight into your customers' likes and dislikes. And the third step is to provide unique and personalized experiences to customers at scale using artificial intelligence. So brands utilizing AI see improved conversions by sending the right message to the right customers. And the fourth step, again, that we just went over was omnichannel presents a natural and authentic experience. Be sure to focus on tools that will move the needle for your brand, not just what's the newest platform to use.
Okay, thank you guys both for your awesome insight and real examples from brands that people can really take a look at and learn from what they've been doing with user-generated content and artificial intelligence. We did have several questions come up during the presentation, so I'd like to take this time to just kind of go through these questions and get people some answers for these. So to start, our first question, I believe this one is for you, Abe. How can brands integrate customer content with their existing owned content?
All right, thanks. Happy to take that one. So ideally, visual UGC will exist alongside a brand's owned content. So this is still a place for cultivated marketing experiences, and by putting them alongside user-generated content, brands can have some more creative control over their message while still enabling customer participation in the marketing process.
Okay, thanks. Next one, this one I believe is for you, Ryan. How does AI marketing differ from marketing automation?
Yeah, so AI marketing will think and learn as it goes over time versus the traditional marketing automation will really do only what you set up. So it's not as one-to-one for your customers' life cycles. So AI will also learn, what's most relevant to each individual customer and adapt its actions over time.
Okay, cool. I think this next one is for you as well. Does the new customer journey mean I need to abandon my lifecycle marketing campaigns?
Yeah, it absolutely does not. Really, what AI is doing is it's being helpful to what you've already done as a marketer as far as creating lifecycle journeys for your customers. What AI is pretty much doing is plugging in and finding areas and opportunities to help your programs. So over time, a lot of the marketing automation programs you set up might not be as effective, and hopefully that can give you more time to focus on working on your creative, your content, and really grasping at what are the users doing so you can bring all that in and build your brand.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Abe, I believe this next one is for you. Where does user-generated content have the biggest impact for brands?
I would say that the answer is very different depending on the brand. So many of our clients see enormous impact on their website and e-com experiences, while others see the biggest benefits, say, in social and display advertising. And as we touched upon earlier, other brands have had success with integrating UGC in their in-store environments as well. But I would say it really differs based on the industry and the brand.
Thanks, Abe. One last one for you, Abe. How can marketers keep up with the constant changing customer behaviors?
So that's a very good question. So I think that customers share engaging content on what they are doing and what they care about. And in addition to the content's value to marketers, it also is like a built-in scalable focus group that can help brands better understand their customer base. And that's precisely why we're so bullish on visual earned content.
Thank you, Abe. One last question that I'm going to direct to you, Ryan. This one comes in and says, isn't AI a little less authentic?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, AI itself isn't, I wouldn't be able to say it's less authentic. Really, it's how we look at it and where we're going to plug it into your programs and your marketing lifecycle for your customers. The AI is really here to help personalize and deliver content at the right time, at the right place, for the right users. So when it comes to being authentic, it's really in the content of your brand and the creatives that you're developing to make sure that you're building that authenticity. When earlier we were talking about some examples with Abe, he mentioned that content, if you're using Photoshop, if you make those images look so good and the product gets shipped, that really hurts the authenticity of your brand and your value. So in the case of AI, it's really not to take away that true experience for the customer. We're really assisting using the AI to make the programs better.
Thanks, Ryan. Those were all the questions that we did have. If you do have any questions that come up later, do feel free to reach out to us and we will get back to you with those questions. A reminder, we did record today's webinar, so we will be sending that out to everyone after. And thank you all again so much for joining us. Thanks, Abe. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, everyone.